Hello, Squidlets. Welcome to Art by Zoe. I'm a woman who loves women, and people who aren't women and aren't men. I don't know if I'll ever be attracted to men again, but I know that even if I am, it won't erase my attraction to women. Ever since the beginning of my journey, the only constant is that I'm sapphic, so I like to stick with that.
So, things have changed. I put on a jacket because I got cold. I'm also not going to be looking at the camera for most of this because I'm recording this in photo booth and editing it in CapCut, and my script is in a separate window on Google Docs. So, anyways, hello Squidlets. Welcome to Art by Zach, I guess. If you're new here, hi, I'm Zach, I'm 24. I've been making art videos on YouTube for about 9 years now. Most of my content is just speed paints with voiceover talking about different topics that were suggested to me, such as things I hate about the American public school system, or Dear Extroverts, which aged interestingly. This video is sort of a revival of a video that I've been thinking about for several years, Speed Paint number 6, my journey with sexuality. But first, a word from our sponsor, me. Many of you probably know that I have a Patreon. All of the tiers are super cheap, with the highest one being only $4 a month, plus some small fees if you join from the iOS app. So if you do join, I recommend you join from desktop. Patrons also get a 50% discount on all of my commissions, and they get access to an exclusive Discord server where patrons can interact with each other and with me, and can share their art and gain access to more exclusive content that I don't post anywhere else on the internet. Because this video has mentions of sexuality in it, and because I only have 106 subscribers, I can't be sponsored by anybody. All of the money that I make from my art comes directly from you guys. So check out the links in the description to find out more ways to support me and keep making the art that you guys love so much. Now, without any further ado, let's get into the video. First, let's talk about what is still similar between then and now. When I made the original video, I was a 20-year-old college sophomore identifying as an asexual lesbian. I was also deep into LGBTQ discourse online and was overall saying a lot of things that made no sense. However, there are actually still some things that are still true now. For example, I'm still on the asexual spectrum. When I made the original video, I was ace and sex repulsed. My stance on sex itself has changed a lot since then, but my level of attraction really hasn't. I still date. I'm actually engaged now. I'm not wearing the ring because I didn't really go outside today. I still rarely experience sexual attraction, and I only really experience it towards my partners, because I've been with both of them for a few years now. I'm also still gay, just in a completely different direction. I actually consider myself abrosexual now because my sexuality seems to change depending on how I experience my gender. So for the past year or so, I've been identifying as a gay man rather than as a lesbian or as bisexual. I still also very much identify as queer, because regardless of how my labels change, I will always be queer in some way. I'm just also comfortable with more specific labels now. And now for the part you guys are actually interested in. What's different about me now? So obviously, as you guys can see, I've gotten a haircut. Okay, but in all seriousness, I have changed a lot. About a year after posting Speed Paint number 6, I had a few epiphanies about my identity. I realized some things about myself, about my body, about my mind, and about my gender. My first epiphany being that I was trans. I shouldn't have been surprised about it, considering I'd been having gender-related thoughts since I was about 11 years old, but I'd also been repressing them for about a decade. When I was 11, I made a self-insert gender-bent creepypasta OC named Zach. If I can find the art on my DeviantArt, I'm gonna put it over here somewhere. I remember thinking that it would have been really cool if I had been born a boy, and I even roleplayed as male characters online. And once I got to my sophomore year of college, I wasn't sure what gender I was, but I was pretty sure that I felt like an imposter around other women, and I felt like an imposter when I was seen as a woman, even though I still enjoyed dressing feminine most of the time and wearing makeup from time to time. A large part of my gender journey around this time was also shaped by other people and my desire to make myself easy to adjust to and easy to understand. Most of my friends were cis, so I still clung really, really hard to she, her pronouns, even though they made me dysphoric, because I didn't want my cisgender friends to have to adjust too much to suddenly having a transgender friend. I also went through several different labels, such as gender fluid, bigender, pangender minus the feminine ones, which I would later realize is gender fawn, and finally boy flux, the label I use now. Because I'd been coming out of a pretty gnarly exclusionist phase, I didn't think that it was possible at the time for somebody to be both non-binary and a binary gender, but I'm in my mid-20s now, so I don't really care what labels people use, so I'm a non-binary man, and if you don't understand that, that's okay. I didn't understand it for a long time either. So after I'd gotten the gender part figured out, I also realized that there was more to my ace spec identity than I previously thought. I still more or less identify as demisexual, but there's a lot more going on now. When I was 21 or 22, I also realized that I was on the aromantic spectrum. It turns out that if you aren't sure whether or not you experience romantic attraction, because you experience all attraction and love on a sliding scale going from hatred to devotion, probably means that you don't experience romantic attraction at all. It took me 2 whole decades to figure this shit out, specifically that I was demisexual and nebulo-romantic. I also realized that I was cubiosexual because I like sex now. Seriously. The first time I had sex was with a friend, platonically. I mentioned this in Speed Paint number 6 very, very briefly because it doesn't really matter. But every other time that I had sex after that was with a romantic partner. I didn't even enjoy sex or have a sex drive whatsoever until I started taking testosterone. I started thinking that my partners were hot all of a sudden and not just beautiful or handsome. I started appreciating my own body. I started taking nudes, something that I never thought I would do, and I started initiating sex with my partners. I was not only experiencing some forms of attraction to them in an autistic sort of aro-ace way, but I also felt more comfortable with my own body and seeing my body and other people's bodies in a sexual context after starting testosterone and being more comfortable with myself as a person. When I had recorded Speed Paint number 6, I was still a sophomore in college, so I hadn't yet figured out anything about my gender or more complexities about my sexual and romantic orientation. And after sort of figuring my gender stuff out and realizing that my sexuality and my gender are intrinsically linked, I realized sometime around my senior year of college that I was gay, like a man who likes other men gay, not like lesbian gay like I was before. During my junior year of college, I was in an abusive relationship with a girl who was a year younger than me, and after being horribly treated by her, being sexually assaulted by her, and just not being treated like a person whatsoever, I broke up with her, and since then, there has been a block in my brain where I have not been attracted to a woman since then. It's kind of similar to how when I was in high school, I had a really bad relationship with a guy, and then for the next few years, I wasn't attracted to men at all. Kind of the same thing is happening now, where I can't be attracted to women for a little bit, and maybe that'll change. Who knows? In the meantime, I am identifying as gay. Both of my partners are also transmasculine. Both of them use he, they, it pronouns, and it's awesome to be not only the man that I always knew I would be, but also to be in love and have multiple partners and be engaged to a person who sees me as I am and loves me for who I am. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I'm polyamorous now. Many of you who watched Speed Paint number 6 probably aren't surprised about this because there is a scene? Oh my god. There is a moment in Speed Paint number 6 where I am talking about a partner that I had during my senior year of high school, where he told me that he had a really high sex drive, and I, at the time, was a virgin with a very low sex drive, so I told him that I would be okay with him cheating on me with other people so that he could have sex without involving me. Later, again, senior year of college, I realized that if I'm consenting to it and I'm aware of it, it's not cheating. It's just me being okay with my partner having other partners. And then I guess that was when I realized I was polyamorous. I've been polyamorous since high school, but I didn't really start practicing it until senior year of college. I can make a separate video about that if you want. It's kind of a long and complicated process that I got to figure about myself. So if you guys want to hear about that, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to make a video about that at some point if that's something you guys would be interested in. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know it's been a really long time since I've posted something like this. It's been even longer since I've posted my face. So if you guys are excited about the comeback, let me know. I think I might start making videos more often now. Make sure that if you're new here that you like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if there's any other content you want to see. I post pretty regularly on my Instagram, a link in the description, and I'm also doing Art Fight this year if you want to draw any of my OCs. I'm on Team Crystals, I do Revenge, I do Friendly Fire, I can whip out a fully rendered piece in less than 3 hours, so if you attack me, I will revenge you. So, as I said in my previous videos, drink water, eat a vegetable, and have a wonderful day.